Good morning. It's good to be with you today, whether you're here in the sanctuary or you're watching at home online. It's good for all of us to be together. As we prepare for worship this morning for the final week of this three-part sermon series on blessings, I offer these words by the Unitarian Universalist minister, Reverend Dr. Rebecca Savage. May her words help ground us and center our minds and our hearts for worship. Rejoice. Rejoice with full hearts, beloved people of blessing. Rejoice. May this time of worship celebrate what we know at our core. Blessings are real and ours to claim and radiate. Blessings are abundant and ours to revel in and pass along. Blessings are transformational and ours to be challenged by as we grow towards the faith we know we can be. Rejoice. So come, my friends, those of you who are gathered here with us in person and those of you who are with us online, and let's worship together.
Thanks, Evelyn. The flaming chalice is the symbol of the Unitarian Universalist tradition, the liberal religious tradition to which this congregation belongs. Will all of those of you here in person please stand as you're able as we light our chalice? If you have a chalice at home, I invite you to light it with me at this time. as we kindle this flame, we recommit ourselves to the mission of this congregation, to build a Unitarian Universalist community that transforms lives and empowers people to serve the world. May the light of this flame be welcoming to all who seek a liberal religious home. For those of you already standing, I invite you to remain standing for our opening hymn. Our opening hymn this morning is number 128, For All That Is Our Life. If you're visiting us for the first time this morning, I'd like to offer you a special welcome. Here at the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Raleigh, we are an intentionally inclusive, liberally religious, and actively serving the common good of our shared world. Whoever you are and wherever you are on your own religious journey, you are welcome here. As Unitarian Universalists, we seek wisdom and inspiration from many sources, but affirm our own individual experience and conscience as the best authority for our beliefs. We believe the purpose of religion is to help us live most fully within this lifetime and make the world a better place. We believe religious community helps us to do so. We hope that you might join us in some of the many things that we do together to grow our own souls and make the world more compassionate and just. If you're visiting us for the first time in person, I invite you to stop by our welcome stand. It's in the foyer, if you haven't already done that. If you're a return visitor, you can pick up a more permanent name tag at the welcome stand. If you're visiting online, I invite you to fill out our visitor form at uufr.org/visitor form. If you do this, you'll start receiving our weekly e-newsletter. And if you're comfortable and you're joining us online, feel free to say hi in the chat. I hope that all of you will read through the chalice you received by email on Thursday about everything happening here at UUFR. We'll be having our social hour after the service. Our in-person social hour this morning will be outside on the upper balcony. For those of you watching from home, there's instructions on how to join our Zoom social hour on the front page of our website. I now invite you to meet and greet your neighbor. Since our children and youth are among us this morning, please make sure to say hi to them as well.
There will be lots of time to continue those conversations during a social hour. This is the time in our service when we acknowledge some of the joys and the sorrows of our community. We do this because we believe that a joy shared is a joy made greater, and a sorrow shared is made easier to bear. Anyone is invited to email a joy or sorrow to joysandsorrows@uufr.org before 9 a.m. on Sunday. And anyone is also invited to light a candle before the service, and if you wish, to fill out one of our cards so that your joy or sorrow can be shared with the congregation. Kurt Johnson and Leah Bugg are mourning the passing and celebrating the life of one of the sweetest and most loyal dogs, Brody, a Bug son for 13 wonderful years. Kurt and Leah, we hold you in our hearts during this time of loss. And it is with deepest sadness that Lynn Taylor shares the news of the death of the Reverend Mark Ward, senior minister at UU Asheville. He died very suddenly and unexpectedly at the age of 69 while in Connecticut to officiate a family wedding. Lynn's extended family includes his daughter and son-in-law. Please hold them and their UU congregation in your thoughts and prayers. As we hold these shared sorrows in our hearts and reflect on the joys and sorrows and fears and hopes of our own lives, let's be together now for a time of stillness and silence, opening ourselves up to that spirit within us and amidst us, called by many names but known to every human heart, that leads us toward a fuller, deeper, and richer experience of life. After the silence, we will sing hymn number 123, Spirit of Life, but now let's be together in stillness and in silence.
Much of what we do at UUFR to help and care for ourselves, one another, our wider community, and the world that holds and sustains us is only possible because the generous financial gifts that so many of us provide. If you'd like to make a contribution this morning, we invite you to bring it forward and put it in one of our offering plates. You may also give using one of the methods on our screen. It's now time for our offering. Please be generous. Thank you for your generosity. Our reading this morning is a selection of quotes. Just to be a blessing, just to live is holy. Abraham Heschel. Human beings ought to communicate and share all gifts they have received. People are not to receive and keep gifts for themselves alone, but should share themselves and pour forth everything they possess, whether in their bodies or their souls, as much as possible. By Meister Eckhart. We are fellow workers with God. 1 Corinthians. The craftsman does not always build toward a prior vision. Often images come in the process of working. The material, his hands, together they beget. M.C. Richards. Contemporary creativity consists in activating, expressing, and fulfilling the universe process, the earth process, the life process, and the human process with the possibilities of our historical moment. Thomas Berry. Time can be used either destructively or constructively. We must use time creatively in the knowledge that the time is always ripe to do right. Martin Luther King Jr. My heart is moved by all I cannot save. So much has been destroyed. I have cast my lot with those who, age after age, perversely, with no extraordinary power, reconstitute the world. Adrienne Rich. And our last quote, society must be transfigured by a new type of social personality, a new humanity appropriate to a new earth. Rosemary Ruther.
Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are the meek. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Blessed are they that do hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled. Blessed, blessed, blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Blessed are the peacemakers. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed, blessed are they Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God.
Thank you so much, Evelyn. A few years ago, I worked for Xerox. I worked in their accounts payable department while studying to become a minister. And I had some pretty cool coworkers there at Xerox. One brought fresh eggs from his chickens every couple of weeks to share with us. Another shared my love of role-playing games like Dungeons and Dragons. A third was a fellow religious studies nerd, and we always had some fun conversations when we should have been working. And a fourth coworker inspired an interest, however brief, in container gardening. Container gardening. You have to understand that this was Phoenix, Arizona, and things do grow there in the desert, but not as easily as compared to here. And they're easy to kill. Really easy. When I was a kid, my parents went on a week-long vacation, and while they were gone, my mom left me in charge of watering the garden that she kept in the backyard. There, she grew things like asparagus, which, as you know, perhaps takes a few years to mature, and onions. Well, by the end of that week, that garden was fried to a crisp. I had completely forgotten to water it, and the dry summer heat did the rest. So I did not have a great track record when it came to the time to try my hand at container gardening. My home was, you might say, a place where plants go to die. But my coworker showed me pictures of his apartment balcony filled with these lush green plants in containers. I wanted a mini jungle on my own apartment balcony, so I accepted a few tips from him and I got to work. I did not manage to grow a jungle, but I did manage to grow a tomato plant and a pepper plant. And I soon found caring for them a sort of spiritual practice. There was something really magical about going out onto the balcony early each morning to water those plants. There in the dawn light, I would see new growth that had appeared since the day before. It was amazing to witness the life radiating forth from them. I gave them nothing but water each day, but still they grew. Their leaves broadened and multiplied. Their fruit grew and ripened. It was mysterious in some ways to see their growth. The desert sun and the heat seemed hostile to life. And the water that I gave those plants every day seemed scarce, far too little to keep them alive at all in that harsh summer heat. And yet the plants not only lived, but they grew and they bore fruit. The mysterious resources to live and live fruitfully are all around us. Even when the world at times seems hostile, it is filled with unseen abundance that upholds life and makes it good. These past couple of weeks here in worship, we've been exploring the theme of blessings. Blessings, you may recall, are things that make life good when times are good, and they are the things that make life better, easier to bear when times are hard, the things that help us to get through the hard times. We are blessed, for we are surrounded by blessings, the raw materials of rich, abundant life. And we are blessed, for we are blessings. We are endowed with capacities that help us to bless the world. We all have gifts to offer to help make life good when times are good, and to help make life better when times are hard. We are blessings. So what do we do with all of these blessings? We live a blessed life. To live a blessed life, we live a life of gratitude and thanksgiving. And I know you might be wondering what the difference is between those two things. Gratitude and thanksgiving are often seen as alternate words for the same thing. But gratitude, for our purposes today, is more of an inward response to the blessings of our lives, and thanksgiving is more of an outward response to those very same blessings. Gratitude requires us to do what I hope some of you have been doing. I know I've been asking this every week. I have been asking you to count your blessings, to literally write a numbered list and jot down all of the blessings in your life. All of the things that make life good when life is good, all the things that make life easier when life is hard. And I encouraged you to add yourself to that list because you're a blessing. You don't have to do this, of course, but it is a good thing to do because it helps prepare us for that first part of a blessed life, gratitude. In order to feel grateful for something, we must first be aware it even exists. And the more that we pay attention, the more things enter our awareness and provoke that sense of gratitude. Keeping a list is a kind of spiritual practice. It helps us practice the spiritual work of awareness. Gratitude emerges more and more as we grow our awareness of the things in our lives that help make life good, even when life is at times hard. In easy, joyful times, gratitude gives us a greater appreciation of the blessings of our lives. It helps us to call them to our minds and our hearts and to really revel in them. Gratitude is what we feel when we are so aware of the life-giving resources all around us that we no longer take them for granted. Instead, as we encounter them, our hearts are stirred to relief in times when we need comfort and healing and we see opportunities for that around us, stirred to wonder and joy in times when life's sweet blessings are savored. If writing a numbered list of blessings is not your cup of tea, I encourage you to find a different gratitude practice for yourself. It can help to build awareness and gratitude for the blessings in your life. Maybe mindfulness meditation is the best practice for you. Maybe you write poetry. I used to go on a gratitude walk. That walk is really a practice that I should reclaim in my own life because it was good for my spirit. Twice a day, I went for a 15-minute walk. It was 15 minutes because I had a work day, and those were my 15-minute breaks. And as I walked, I contemplated the holiness of creation and of each individual thing within creation. I made it my task to look at each and everything around me, everything in my life, and figure out how, even if in only a small way, it may serve to bless the world. I wanted to see where life-giving power radiated forth from the things around me out into the world and into my life. And then I would take a few moments as I walked to silently appreciate it. And plenty of things came to my mind. The awesomeness of our vast universe and the amazing complexity within that universe. The wonderful paradox that there was so much variety in that universe, so much diversity, and yet at the very same time there was an underlying unity. For the same laws govern all things at the most fundamental level. I felt blessed that the very same creative processes that brought stars into being also brought me into existence. And our bodies, as I walked, I thought about how wonderful it is to have a body that lets me inhabit the world, and senses with which I could experience life, and so on. I contemplated the beauty of the natural world. I contemplated the gifts individual people in my life shared to enrich my life. I thought even about more mundane things like air conditioning and modern plumbing. I thought about those tomato and pepper plants growing on my balcony, those beautiful little daily reminders of the resiliency of life, the will to survive despite the harsh desert heat. And gratitude through this practice, this daily, twice daily practice, became a sort of continual background music as I moved through my life. Those blessings around me, while not always obvious, punctuated my awareness like drum beats throughout the day. The little reminders stirred my heart and with renewed gratitude and awe in the same way that music stirs the body and the emotions. The gratitude walk was my practice. It helped me move from being aware of life's blessings on an intellectual level to feeling their presence in a way that really enriched my life. The particular practice that you choose is not all that important, but finding a practice to help you cultivate gratitude in your own life is important. The other part of living a blessed life is Thanksgiving, and for our purposes today, we might think of Thanksgiving as two words, thanks and separately giving. The thanks part of living a blessed life involves outward signs of appreciation. If you notice a blessing in your life, name it and help other people to notice and appreciate it too, because sometimes we need that from each other. Wow, I am so thankful for this meal, you might say, or even thanks, tree, for helping make the air more breathable. And if a person has done something, however small, to make your life or the world just a little bit better, let them know. Tell them thanks. Help them to realize that they are a blessing. Help them to understand that their actions help build this great common life that we share in a positive way. And if someone has impacted your life for the better in a huge way, let them know. Sing grateful praises to the sky and litany of thank yous. Outwardly acknowledging blessings is also a way to help nurture and to grow those blessings out into the world. When we and those around us become aware of something worthy of gratitude, we may be moved to protect it and to nurture it and promote it. Like a gardener finding a precious seed and giving it water. Which brings us to the giving part of Thanksgiving. The blessed life is not one of just passively receiving life's gifts and inwardly appreciating them. It is also a way of responding that helps pour more blessings out into the common life we all share. Living the blessed life means paying it forward. A few years ago, I read a really wonderful children's book called Grandma's Gloves by Cecil Castellucci. Grandma's Gloves is a sad but beautiful story about grief. In the book, a little girl loved spending time with her grandma in the garden tending plants. When her grandma passed away, she took her grandma's gardening gloves as a way to remember her. But she didn't just take the gloves, she also took up gardening. Her gratitude for her grandma's life moved her to give that love back to the earth that her grandmother so loved. She gathered her blessings, her grandma's memory, the garden her grandma left behind, her grandma's gardening gloves, and the things her grandma taught her about caring for plants. And then she rolled up her sleeves and she tended the garden. And we too can respond in gratitude for the blessings in our lives by rolling up our sleeves and giving our love back to the world. Because heaven knows our world is in need of loving hands to tend it. Life's many blessings are our gardener's tools. We may feel at times like we live less in a Garden of Eden and more Rappaccini's garden of poisonous plants. Mass shootings in the United States, war in Ukraine, climate change, the ongoing pandemic, to say nothing of the tumult and strife of our own lives. This world of ours needs a little loving care. But those who count our blessings also know a bigger truth. The world is not only full of pain, but also at the very same time full of goodness. The goodness, those blessings are soil, sunlight, and seed to grow a Garden of Eden where all may enjoy life's abundance. Those who live the blessed life experience life's goodness fully and help others to share in that goodness. We respond to life's blessings with gratitude, joy, and service to help nurture a new world, a more loving, just, and compassionate world than the one that we now occupy. Frederick Buechner once said, "We are called to the place where our deep gladness and the world's deep hunger meet." May we count our blessings and discover the wellsprings of deep gladness in our lives that flow like music. May we drink deeply of that joy that our blessings bring. May we share our joy widely with the world in an endless stream of kindness and of care. And may we help nurture and enlarge life's blessings for all to enjoy like a gardener nurtures a garden. Amen. Blessed be. May it be so. And now, if you will please rise and body your spirit for our closing hymn this morning. It is number 110, My Life Flows On in Endless Song.
My life flows on in endless song above earth's lamentation. I hear the real, the far of Him that
Please be seated. It is time now to bring our time of worship to a close, but as we extinguish this chalice flame, its light will continue to burn in our hearts. As we go out into our daily lives, let's remember the words of Burnett R. Burns. For the joyful, may jubilant songs echo in our hearts well beyond fading memories. For the sorrowful, may gentle songs of solace bring lasting healing to our hearts and minds. For the angry, may we join our voices together in songs of protest and hope. For the mindful, may we sing the praises of earth's beauty and honor the unique songs of all beings. And for all of us here in our community, and for all our world, may we sing to the morning and evening stars as they guide our journeys. Amen. Blessed be, and go in peace.